Hello, happy Wednesday. So, today's topic is self help self harming. Now, I know this sounds kind of weird coming from me because obviously this would be considered a self help channel. So, if you're following me and you're thinking, like, oh, I'm supposed to be helping you, why am I going to say, is this self harming? Well, it's just the fact that before all of this, I followed a lot of gurus, self-help people that and it don't even have to be like literally self-help. It could be motivational, it could be entrepreneurial type people, or whatever the case may be. But I followed a lot of people, and you got to ask yourself certain questions in believing, are you really gaining anything from listening to these people? So a couple questions, actually three questions. Is this self-help channel doing you a service or a disservice? And with that, you have to think only if the perspective of the person is something you never heard before. So what do I mean by that? What are we talking about? If you really just pay attention to what you're listening to, unless you're getting it from some real person that went through like school and learned all the technical book lingos and everything, you're not, everybody that's on here is basically going off an experience, kind of like myself. But you have to understand, are they selling you real professional help, or are they selling you perspective? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you from the jump, I'm selling you perspective. I'm not selling you any advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a coach, by no means. But you got to understand, what are you getting from that person? Is it something new? Is something like intriguing? Something you never heard before? And that's actually going into my next, that's going to be in the next couple points I'm going to make. So the other question you have to ask yourself, does this help, does it come from a person that I can honestly say is the same quality as myself? And when I mean same quality, I guess, are they the same person? Can I look inside this person and say, hey, I can relate to this person? Because let me just tell you, I'm a black man. So obviously, the perspective of a, say, white man might be a little different from my perspective, because I might look at this white man and he might have just a better quality of life, I would say, as opposed to the quality of life I have. So I might look at him like, yeah, your perspective is good, or your professionalism is good, your advice is good, but that can't apply to my situation. I might look at you and be like, I could probably only go so far with it, because I have to take my blackness into consideration. So you have to really understand, can I look at this person that's on the other side of the camera? Is this person of my background? Is this person of my lifestyle, or my my caliber, I guess? So when you understand that, then that's when you know if you're in the right lane of who you're listening to, who you get advice from. And then the other question you should take into consideration is, are you following a whole bunch of gurus, and are you growing up with them? Are you growing up with them? Because I'll just tell you right now, if you're, let's just take me for an example. So I'm grassroots. You see me today, I'm at the, I ain't gonna say I'm at the lowest of the lowest, but I'll just say I'm not at the highest of the highest. I'm not no millionaire. I'm not sitting talking to you guys in no great position in life or nothing. I'm not talking to you in any form of high level, I've made it type thing. I'm talking to you guys straight on, raw and uncut from the ground, the dirt. So if you guys were to follow me, I say 10 years from now, just say first and foremost, I don't grow up. Say I'm sitting here 10 years later in the same fucking position. If you're following me, you're not growing and I'm not growing, you need to forget that person. I mean, I would even say in the next couple years, if you don't see this person growing, then you should be like dropping them off. I said shit. I would say unfollow me if you don't see me progressing. So I would say the same thing to you. If you're listening to a bunch of gurus for whatever reason and they're growing and you're not, you might want to think about who it is that you're listening to, because they're giving you advice that obviously is helping them grow, but you're sitting in the same spot. Now that could be a reflection of yourself, because you might just be a person that just don't listen very well, or you're just listening to this shit just to be hearing it. But you got to take into consideration, if you listen to this person, you follow their advice, whatever, and I'm talking about, just say you have a plethora of these people that you're following all their advice, but shit just not sticking for you, you need to unfollow them. Now I'm not trying to get a whole bunch of gurus out of here, because I'm not even going to sit up here and tell you I'm the expert either. But I would just say, if you follow me after a couple years and I don't give you any value or whatever the case may be, you need to just say, hey, Terrell, it's not working for me, bro. I got to go. And that's it. So that's why I'm here. The struggle is real for me. So what I'm going to give you is pretty much the struggle of what I'm going through, the struggle of what you might be going through, and then at the end of it, we need to together come up with a solution. You can join my community. You could drop some, say, hey, Terrell, I appreciate the advice you gave, but hey, I would even go as far as saying that ain't the way. I think maybe you have a little bit of a tip for me that, I like where you were going, but I would even add on to this kind of value. And then I might listen to you and be like, hey, you know what? You got a point there. Let's do this shit together, and we might do it right together, and we'll grow together. But if we're both in the same spot after a couple years of dealing with each other, then something's wrong with us. So this is what this is about, man. Is self-help, self-harming. Let's grow together. Don't sit up and listen to people believing that they got your best interests at heart, and you're listening to them, and then at the end of it, you're like, you're not growing, but they're growing, or vice versa. You're growing, but that's that. I guess to each his own. I mean, if you continue to follow them, if they're not growing, but you're growing, I mean, maybe that's more power to you. Maybe you should be the expert, but whatever. But just don't, I guess, get caught up in the wave of following a bunch of people and they're not leading you to the promised land, so to speak. So let's go through this again, because I'm almost at 10 minutes. Is this person that you're listening to, are they doing you a service or a disservice? And by that, is it the same perspective you've heard from 10,000 other gurus and stuff, and they're like practically reading from the same script? And then I guess the other question you should ask is, this person coming from the same circumstances as myself? If I'm a hood nigga, is this person a hood nigga that's giving me, hood advice, and they made it out and I'm trying to make it out, and I'm listening to them and I'm like, damn, they got me up out the hood? Or are you following just a whole bunch of gurus and they growing, but you in the same spot, and you just continuing to listen and watch their videos and you're not gaining anything from it. Because really, all at the end of the day, what a person should be either one or two things. They should be an expert, and they should be giving you sound advice that you wouldn't get from nowhere else, or somebody should just really be selling you a perspective. And like I said, I'm just really selling you perspective. I'm just giving you a different way to look at life. So if you're looking at life differently after hearing me, I've done my job. Now, does that really mean that it applies to you? And does that mean that you're going to actually excel in life? I mean, that's really up to you, and that's really up to if we're the same caliber of a person. If we're from the same place and we're in the same mindset, are we getting the same value together? So that's it, man. That was a video that was on my heart. I'm gonna do maybe a couple more because we're approaching Thanksgiving, and I really don't think Thanksgiving I'm gonna have a video for y'all. I'm just being 100% honest because I'm gonna have family in town. But I will try my best to get you something. But if not, I'm gonna have you guys a couple videos probably from today, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video later on today. Peace.